Am I on Twitch? No, I'm not on Twitch yet. Not on the stream manager. Am I on YouTube? Okay. Let's see here. Waiting for it. Waiting for it. Thinking about it. Maybe. Come on. Let me see myself.
Come on with a second. Let's see. It says broadcasting live. Let me see. It should be IBM developer restream. I don't see us live yet.
Yeah.
I'm coming on the video for a second while we troubleshoot.
Well, that's the reason why we're doing this. We're learning how to use this new system, right? In the best ways possible. We're doing stuff live.
Are we showing up on YouTube? Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Oh, hello, YouTubers. Sorry, we're trying to get Twitch up and running too. Trying to make sure this comes together.
Yeah, it must be something with Restream. Maybe there's something different about the. Here, let me go off for a second. I'm gonna see what the settings are.
Okay. Well, just to fill in some blank airtime today, and I'll end up saying this again as soon as we come back on. Hopefully on Twitch. Today I'm going to be going through some basic Cloud Foundry and Openshift work. I had a request recently. There was a company that they use Cloud Foundry and they were looking at Openshift, but they didn't really understand the commands to use for both sides. So I have a very simple Python app that I'll show here in a moment. And then from there, I will deploy it first to Cloud Foundry, just to kind of show the work in the process. I don't actually know all the commands offhand, so I'm going to be kind of struggling through it myself, but I believe it's relatively easy. And then from there, I will kind of make a change, kind of show you what the process is and how to make that happen. And then I'm just planning on taking the next step, which is, hey, Spencer, how you doing? You're on mute, buddy.
I'm at too. Hey, Spencer, can you check for the Restream? I don't have the login stuff. Can you make sure it's also set up for Twitch still? Because it's going to YouTube. It's just not going to Twitch yet.
Oh, I don't have the credentials for that.
Well, it's going to YouTube, but Twitch isn't picking it up.
I have the stream key. Is that what you need?
Can we just connect it?
No, I have it. I have the stream key. Like it's working on Restream. It's just for some reason maybe I don't know if Restream has a setting to where it picks like who it's actually going to, like in the login.
Well, let me be right back, guys.
Okay. I'll remove them. All right, I'll drop back out to JJ so you can keep going.
Okay, cool. No worries. So the little app I have is a simple little Python app. It's just to prove that all the things work, and then we're going to take that and push that into OpenShift, and I want to show off some of the advantages of OpenShift and the reason why to use it. This is a temporary kind of like this is me just learning how to make sure this all works how I expect it to, and then hopefully we can do some fun little like experiments along the way to see if it all comes together how we want it to. Hopefully this won't take too long. We'll see how it all plays together. Okay, so Mike, do you mind kicking me over to share my screen and have me on screen, please? Or I think I could actually I can just hit the button myself. Let's see here. 2. Allow. There we go. So already from the get-go, here is the app that I have. It's a very basic, straightforward. Hey, hello. Oh, you were there, then you're gone.
I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah.
How do I change my name?
That is something Mike's got to do.
Oh, maybe change my name to something less stupid, Mike.
So yeah, Nibs here is going to play wing person with me as we kind of go down this path. this is my very basic app. I just wanted to show. It is unbelievably advanced. As you can see, I'm a professional Python developer. It says, "Hello, world of nerds." That is literally all it does. And then the port 5000. This is actually a really important thing to kind of highlight immediately. One of the challenges, at least on OpenShift side, is that it assumes everything's sitting at port 8080 by default. So you actually have to change the port, but that also allows me to show you how you would have to do this if for whatever reason your app, it does not go by the defaults too, which is always nice.
It looks great.
Thank you.
For our viewers who haven't seen it before, Flask is the micro framework in the Python language. It's got some friends like Express and Sinatra and stuff like that.
So if go ahead and pull this down. Hit pull.
Are you in the? I'm in the server. Do I?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Sorry. This is actually on my local machine. I didn't set it up on the other machine. My bad. Mostly, basically, I just need you to be here for commentary.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's gonna be a nail biter.
Yeah, exactly. I think everything else kind of comes together.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, right. I should probably turn off.
Is that because we're not on Twitch? He can't find us.
Yeah, exactly.
We just decided we're just not fixing that.
No, I think Mikey was supposed to be doing it, but I mean, I guess going through this thing, so complete utter transparency here. We're trying something new with the way we were streaming. We're using another piece of software, and normally we stream to Twitch is where we normally do this stuff. But unfortunately, this one seems the Twitch connection isn't doing what we wanted to. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you're watching this on YouTube Live now.
We're excited. It's my first time being live on YouTube Live. I'm thrilled.
Okay, hang on. Give me a second. Let me stop sharing my screen, and because I got to pull some stuff off real quick.
For those of you who don't know, what we're going to do is we're going to deploy some apps. We got a Python app. If I have my way, we'll maybe deploy a JavaScript app after the Python app, but no guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough to get a haircut yesterday, which I know is scary to do in these times. I think it looks. Oops.
Looks good. Looks good. There you go.
It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it, that's for sure. We just got a new piano. Feeling good about playing that one day. And then once we're done playing the piano, I'll probably pick up the guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Wait, I'm already confused here.
What are you confused about?
So
we don't have to deal with it. We can just go to YouTube. We'll be fine.
All right, we'll do it. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back. We're only doing this for an hour, so anyway, so it shouldn't be
in and out.
In and out, yeah. Well, actually, the goal of this, right, is to be able to show how easy it is to do all this.
Should be fast.
That should be fast. It was like last week when I did the stream on how to move from Docker Hub to Quay.io. I chunked out 3 hours of thinking this was going to take forever, and I got it done in 20 minutes. And I'm like, how about we try GitHub registry now? Oh, that is the challenge was to find the correct URL to log into. That was the problem, which I thought was interesting. Okay. Anyway, so we have here's Cloud Foundry. If you've never seen it, it's a way to be able to run applications on the cloud.
Okay.
So the idea is you should be able to do something called a CF push of your source code and push it up there. One of the challenges is we have a playbook here.
I didn't know we even had that GitHub org.
We can talk about that later, Nibs.
Okay.
So we use. Oops, sorry, wrong. Docker grant Docker IBM Cloud Docker. So the theory here is we should be able to take this little tab right here. We create something called a manifest, and I haven't actually done this yet, so bear with me.
So maybe we could back it up. Do we have this app locally, like LS?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Are we VS Coding today?
Well, not completely.
Maybe
so
the first thing to do would be to run it locally. Did you run it locally yet?
Yes, Python 3 app.py. Oh geez.
I think it's /VM.
Yeah, then activate.
Oh, you can just bin Python, actually.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I have a whatchamacallit in here.
Yeah, no, you would. But you can also, if you don't want to go through that trouble, sort of, well, I don't know what that's. Just do ./VM/bin/Python. Well, now it doesn't matter. If you just call the Python that's in there, it just magically works.
Oh, okay.
This is better in many ways because it's like always troubling when you're like, well, in my init script, I'll source this file, and then you hope that gets passed on to whatever other init scripts randomly get called before your daemon gets run. But if you use the Python that's in there, always works.
Now, how do I put? I've already just completely blanked here. Isn't there a pip command I need to install the requirements.txt?
Yeah, so it's pip install -r requirements.txt. Do you want to cat the requirements.txt for our friends at home? I mean, it's what it sounds like. It's like it's like a Node.js package.js style. I think we do have some permission errors though.
Yeah.
Like, are we out of disk space? Is this owned by a different user?
That's a good question. No, this is on my laptop. It should be fine.
And what type ID? Who are you? You're JJ?
Yeah. So that was I guess I can just do user, right? -- user.
Well, I mean, I don't know what that does.
That just puts it under your username, not like this is on a Mac, right? So there's probably weird permissions with where everything is. But if I do Python app now,
I think you didn't successfully install your VM, or activate it. I mean, it says you've activated it. Maybe the pip3, I bet your VM isn't a 3 VM.
Oh, really?
Just type which pip3.
Pip3?
Yeah, so that's your problem. Is like type which pip. I would type deactivate, and maybe we'll start this with a fresh VM that's less busted.
Activate. So this is this right here, right?
I think it's a deactivate is usually maybe let's make a new shell.
All right.
And then just rm-fr the VM file or the entire VM directory.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
And now I would do virtualenv --python equals python 3 VM. And then we're going to off to the races. -- python equals python 3. And then, venv. Yeah. Ooh. What do you have? Do you have virtualenv 3? Is that what you have? Is that the command you have?
No.
I wonder how you got the other virtualenv. I've been maybe SCP'd it or something. I would brew install Python pip virtualenv, whatever it's called. I can look it up for you. Homebrew search.
As you can tell, I'm very much not an actual Python programmer.
Is there a virtual env that you were able to install?
I thought I did at some point.
Well, I don't.
There you go.
You got it?
Is it called PY Envi? That guy?
No.
No. Oh.
But maybe pyenv virtual env is fine. Do you have the virtual env command now?
Oh, I haven't installed it yet. I just found it.
This is why we build it in Docker.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why. Because I think that's what I think that's what I usually normally do is I have a Docker file and I build the Docker container and show that off. But because we're doing Cloud Foundry,
it's updating your OpenSSL, so that's a good sign. Excuse me.
Cloud native. Cloud.
I mean, honestly, cloud naive is pretty appropriate.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? So yeah, if you see here, here's the Docker file. Basically, I just run Python 3.7 Alpine and build it. But yeah, back to the original statement. Because we're trying to use Cloud Foundry, the whole idea was Cloud Foundry predates what the what?
Do you want to hop on this SSH host?
Yeah,
But I get it working.
So. Yeah, all right, hang on. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen real quick so I can bring up some stuff. Hang on. Tmix. Do you have a session already up?
I have an LS. I made a directory called. This was here.
Did you attach or did you create a new one?
I'll make a new one. I just made it.
Okay. There we go.
Now, can you git clone the repo that we were messing with?
Yep. Give me a second.
Oh, and I think you got to share again.
Yep. Hang on. Copy. All right, that should come up here in a second. Okay, git clone clone. There you go.
Sweet.
I don't know how computers work, Nibs. Like, I really don't.
Okay. What kind of server is this?
It's CentOS, I believe.
Okay. Do we have sudo?
No.
How do we?
I go into it because I this is too much on the internet, so I
Well, I'll run yum search.
Yeah.
And there'll be a package that's something virtual env. Yeah, any of those really would work, I think.
Okay.
I think the number one would probably be this Python 3.6 virtual env. I think would be my preference.
Python 3.6, you said? 3.6?
Yeah.
Virtual.
Watch JJ running yum.
Use DNF, my friend.
Oh my god. DNF, of course, still running under Python 2.
Exactly. All right, there you go. It should be there. What? What? It says it's installed.
Oh, that's what I have, a virtual M3-3.6.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you? Right? Like, that seems like the right thing to put in there.
Well, to be fair, the instructions that the Python community gave to the distributions was to make a new program called Python 3 and to not create a situation where Python 2, where user bin Python could be anything. The Arch Linux community famously ignored this, and was like, all user bin Python will be Python 3. And for like 6 months, the Arch Linux community would break their systems and then go to pound Python on Freenode and just complain that Python was super busted and paste all these errors. And it's like, eventually it's like, do you run Arch? Yeah. Do you, did you run this command upgrade? It's like, yeah, latest. It's like, no, I'm definitely busted now. That's your fault. And so they went from like helping the users to like having the bot help the users to just straight up kicking people.
Oh, that's amazing.
Now, this was sort of what JJ and I were talking about before. Now that we have this virtual env, this is sort of like a node modules. It's just a little more manual in the Python world. The idea being that the libraries required by this application are entirely referenced in this requirements.txt file, but whenever we install them, they're all installed in this virtual env. Now, there's a couple schools of thought here. One is if you do a vm bin Python, version, you're going to get a Python 3. There also isn't really this is the opposite of the thing I was just talking about, where user bin Python here is Python 3. You can do what JJ was talking about, where we run source vm in activate. And that's actually like going to run some stuff on our shell and manipulate our shell path and stuff so that it's using all these things. And then if we run Python or pip or anything like that, it's going to reference the virtual env. What is kind of a little more safe and sysadmin-y in my world is something like this. And you're taking advantage of some hackery on the virtual env side, but we're being very clear and explicit about the virtual env that we're using. We're not corrupting the environment in our shell. So this is definitely what I would use in any scripting environment for sure. So that installed a bunch of libraries. You can see what's in there. It's like 20 megs, which is actually kind of lightweight. You can imagine installing, if you had 6 lines in your package.json file, you'd have approximately 3 gigabytes of files downloaded. And now I guess we can run it. Is that right? Hey,
Yay!
it turned on.
Yay!
Like this. Yay, it worked. We made a health Z. Yay!
Yay!
Make up something that doesn't real, we get a 404. Perfect.
Yep.
That works. Whoops. What about, oh God. What's next, JJ?
All right. So now that we got this up, now we need to actually push this to Cloud Foundry. So in order to get a Cloud Foundry, you need to create something called a manifest file.
What's that?
This is just a standard way of doing it. It's just a way to declare Cloud Foundry, hey, this is all the resources and this is the name of the thing I'm going to be pushing up into you. This is a very stripped down one here. As you see here, it's an instance and applications of whatever the name is and how much memory and how many containers in essence, because they're called build packs, I believe, in Cloud Foundry that actually run the thing. So we're going to just do simply echo that, then app, then applications, and then, God damn it, then name of hello nerds. How about that? You like that?
Sounds great.
And then stupid alt tab memory of 256 megs. You can do something different here.
I think if you keep it pretty quiet, like 128 megs or 256 megs, which does sound pretty limited, but then you can stay on some free tiers, which is nice.
Yes, exactly. Like that. And then instances of 1. So copy that. There we go. So this is just declaring it. So in theory, with our, I'm just going to do this here because I'm lazy.
That's pretty funny.
Yep. IBM Cloud.
Do as I say, not as I do on this stream.
How long have you known me, Nibs? IBM Cloud CF. If these are, we have
Is it app?
Yeah, I was going to just show the. Really?
I think it's IBM Cloud app. Oh my God! What?
So here we go. Here are all the different commands. We actually, inside of the IBM Cloud CLI, we actually have all the CF interface wrapped inside of it. But it is a plugin, as you saw, that we just had to install it there. So to Nib's point, the application lifestyle is app. And then we should be able to, but because I created that manifest file, I believe we can all just do an IBM Cloud CF push, and it reads the manifest file and says, hey, there's a manifest file here. I can go do my thing, I think. But we're about to find that out.
Right. There's a lot going on. And it's worth talking briefly about what we're really trying to do here, right? Which is separate the idea of the code, running the code, and packaging the code, and deploying the code.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
And what CF, kind of sits on a lot of. CF is what you would describe. I often describe as like a more magic tool. Kubernetes is kind of the same thing, where it's like a lot of stuff happens, and the idea is that we write that very small manifest file, and then a lot of magic happens and it works on the other end. But you have to understand the magic if you want to have a chance at debugging it. So probably the first thing it's going to do is it's going to slurp up all these files and ship them over. And then JJ talked briefly about the build packs. So if you looked at a Docker file, in a Docker file, you specify the environment that we're going to be working with. See how it downloaded all these build packs? Mm-hmm. Those are essentially they're not really Docker layers. They're just files that are, for instance, if you want to run Python, you need a Python, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And Cloud Foundry has this, I think, pretty controversial code. What it does is it just has this it just checks what you've pushed. And if it has a requirements.txt, it's like, oh, this is probably Python code. And it uses the Python build pack, which to me is madness. I want to be explicit about what I'm using and what version. However, you could also, if you trust it, you can let it do its own thing. So you can see if we could scroll up, it's going to select the Python build pack, kind of I think it expands it or something. You can see it's using Python at 3.8 build pack. So that's not lined up with the Python version that we're using locally. Then it's going to run pip install. And that's where you see it installing all these dependencies. You can scroll down a little bit more. That warning doesn't seem super important to me.
This is probably a real problem, though.
No start command specify build pack for your proc file.
Yes, we need to create a proc file. I did not know that. So
yeah. So no worries. What directory are we in? Are we in here?
Yep.
Yeah, we good. We gooch. Oh.
Wait, what?
Nothing. We got to Google it. I thought I had an example.
Oh, you can actually do on the CF push -c. Oh, that's a config.ru now. Oh, God. What did we do?
It's cool.
Oh, here we go.
Gooch.
Yeah.
We gooch. It's okay.
Yeah, so totally going to push this shit in my repo. Should be just Python app.py, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could overwrite the port here too, couldn't we? Or listen to all 000.
What port is it going to listen to on default? Is it 5,000?
5,000. Yeah, 5,000.
What port does? Yeah, it seems like we would have to write that in manifest.yaml. What port it's listening on?
Yeah, I don't actually know. Now that'd be crazy simple, and I'd actually tip my hat to Cloud Foundry if that actually works.
Wait, you don't want to create a 3-layer ingress service
Exactly.
deployment definition where you write the same number 15 times and wonder which one means something?
Exactly.
Sure?
Exactly. Oh, it's It's a little too close to home, my friend.
You know, it doesn't say port in here, so I don't think I got that right.
Now let's see.
There's something called a CF route.
That's the naming of the URL. Like, again, this drives me crazy every single time I see it. And it's thinking about it. Yeah, I guess doing through YouTube Live also, I don't see the chat anywhere. Right?
Yeah, you'd have to open it up in YouTube to see the chat.
Ooh, that's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone's watching it. Who knows? All right, we're thinking about it. We're getting there. Exit status of 0 is always a good sign.
I would really expect this to be, you know, a touch simpler. I'm like Googling pretty hard. Oh, wait. Is that what was the web shorthand that I put in there? Is that what I was supposed to do?
Maybe?
What was that?
That's just me moving the screen.
Is it similar? Oh, I see. I see what's going on. Is it similar to Google App Engine? It's very similar to Google App Engine. The general idea of a platform as a service. Multi-target compilers get lost in the binary. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way we can actually have it have the health check for us too. Put a health check in there. Because I know it does.
Cool.
Yeah, this seems like something that would be able to do.
So is it working?
It's still finishing off. I vaguely remember this being significantly faster. But whatever. We'll move over to, like, as soon as we get this to work and we can show that it actually does what we expect it to, then we can start talking about Openshift and how Openshift is there's a little bit more complexity to it, but it's a lot of the same kind of path, which is really nice. And then we can even show in some tied into the GitHub repo. So it'll be able to like make you changes and actually kick off the build and redo it for you. So you don't have to do the push. You can do it all automatically, which I don't know if you can do that with Cloud Foundry. I don't actually know. I was hoping to try to figure that out today.
Huh.
I don't know why this is stuck right now. This doesn't seem like this is not boding well for our playground here. Cloud Foundry.
So at worst case scenario, it looks like $port as an environment variable gets the video title doesn't seem to match what's going on. Well, I don't know how to set the video title. So you might just have to deal with that. I don't know how to say your name. Prasanna? Yep. Sorry about that. This is JJ and Spencer trying to get Cloud Foundry working. Episode 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah, our route still hasn't actually come up yet. It's thinking about it. Yeah, it's still going. Monsbly, you're absolutely right. The app push should not take this long. We are very confused on why this is not doing what we wanted it to do. Oh, here we go. The instance of the app crashed. Oh, it's doing the health check on port 8080. We're sitting at port 5000. It can't find the health check, so we're not doing. So there's two options here. We can edit the code to work on 8080, which might actually be the right thing to do in this case, and then which will also help us with the OpenShift version here in a little bit. Right, Nibs?
Let's do it.
All right, buddy.
I think there's actually like a number of ways to attack that particular thing. One of which is there's a Flask CLI. Flask now ships with a command called Flask that you can use instead of Python. And that thing's already set up to take a bunch of arguments, which is probably where I'd go first. We just edited the code, or we could add some like custom Python. We could either add custom Python to like inspect an environment variable or a command line arg, or I bet if you just left the port equals off of that piece of that line of code and then set the right environment variable, Flask would just do the right thing.
Interesting.
Flask is not quite the toy that it might have been before. It seriously wants to be like a productionizable thing.
Yeah. I keep coming back to the idea of using Flask as my backend for like random one-page apps that I need to write and all. But then I realize I have no skills in HTML and or JavaScript and or like web design. So I just dropped that project. Like as soon as I think about it, I'm like, oh, no, I just need to see hello world. Cool. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I will say though, many times, I tried to get the project of the 2-button website for you, Nibs. Delegate or escalate. I still remember that. Many times I tried to make that happen.
I was younger then. It's not so simple. For those StarCraft players out there, there's the Protoss keyboard that's just F2 and A. It's pretty good. Only buttons you need. 1A and GG and enter. That's all I need. Hey, so I think there's like a list command. There's maybe like IBM Cloud CF apps or list or something.
Yep. And then just to show that it's HTTPS and it's actually going there. So IBM Cloud CF apps list.
I don't know. That apps and list is probably not. It's probably at. Yeah.
There we go. And
so it shows you all. And there's Hello Nerds. It's right there. Can you? I think you can IBM Cloud CF logs it as well.
Yep.
And so if this had an error, we'd be able to read the logs for it. Unlike Kubernetes, this is kind of the inverse. So you Control C this and you do a -- recent. This is the default. This is it tails by default.
There we go. And that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah. So that's like the right stuff. Cool. And it runs.
And just one more time, we'll just go ahead and say, instead of hello word of nerds, say of Cloud Foundry fun times. Just to prove that we go through the whole process. You'd usually do a PR or something like that, but I'm just going to not do that. And then I do CF push. And then we will see, instead of hello nerds, when this is completed, what we want to do, just to be completionist of the whole process. And this one should take significantly shorter because it doesn't have to rebuild or pull all those build packs down. It's just changing the little bit of code. If we were smart, we would have started a stopwatch and see how long this takes, but we're not smart.
So. Yeah, I mean, the speed here is a little irritating.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly what we want.
Or I guess I lied. They do have to build all the pull down the packs again. That seems weird. And while this is going, I have an OpenShift cluster right here. This is my typical one that I play with. What we're going to do is we're going to create a project, and then with that project, we will inject in our same code, and then we'll use the commands to push this in to make this stuff happen. And then you can kind of see that it's more or less the same feeling, which is always nice. I don't know why this is here on default. Please don't pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and delete that for right now.
Did you already throw this thing into OpenShift?
A few times. A few times. This is my typical kind of like me showing everything off, but I do need to, as I said at the very beginning of the stream, I need to like get all these commands down to be like natural. And the Cloud Foundry I got in general, but I want to show like the actual differences, which isn't too bad. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, and then one last time, because we are there, we'll go ahead and refresh this, and we see hello world of Cloud Foundry times. Cool.
Yeah, cool. And for anybody, can you focus on the terminal real fast?
Sure.
JJ is getting the URL to go to both from the string that we put in the manifest.yaml and that routes line on the screen.
Yep. Okay, so let's take it to the next step, shall we? So I need to log into my account over here. I'm going to not be dumb and put this on screen.
I mean, you can. We don't mind.
Well, I mean, also it expires really fast too, doesn't it? So if I do OC projects, we'll see there's a ton of OpenShift projects in here, right? So what I can do is do new project CF Python. Sure, let's go with that.
Okay.
So now we have a new project called CF Python here. There's a couple different ways of doing this. So we'll start with the GUI first, just because it kind of shows how to wrap everything up really, really nice. The challenge here, though, is that because it assumes that you're going to pull, it wants to pull directly from GitHub or whatever Git repository by default to help you with doing the better practices of CI/CD. We're actually going to need to push all these changes we made, which is, git diff. There's a couple changes in here, including our port 8080, which is actually probably better for our long-term solution here. And then also our naming. So what I'll do is I'll git status, git add app, and then just because I'm masochistic, I'll go ahead and add proc file so I don't have to do this later, and also our manifest. Because Cloud Foundry doesn't, or OpenShift doesn't know about these are just two more files sitting in there, which shouldn't really bother us. So I'll go ahead and git commit -m updated for CF thingies. Sure, why not? Git push, and I push this into our repo upstream, and we'll see here. If I refresh, we now have our proc file, and we now have our manifest, which is fine. What I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and take the HTTPS because I don't have keys put back and forth quite yet. I'm going to copy that URL, and inside the GUI, you can also do this via the command line using OC new -app, which I'll do here in a minute too, just to kind of show the completionist of this. But to see it through the GUI first, you kind of see how everything lines up pretty easily. We'll go ahead and here throw it into the repo that we wanted. After validating, it immediately notices that it's Python, which is really nice. To Nibs's point earlier, we actually run the same version of Python here, interestingly enough, compared to the 3.8 earlier. We want to testing. We'll go ahead and create a deployment, and then we'll actually create an actual route for it. So when I create this, it spins it up again. Oh, whoops.
It's so pretty. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. It's like a little egg.
Yep. I did actually do this in the default project. I should have done this in the project we created, but that's fine. Immediately you see that it tried to spin up the pod because it knew the need to do it, but because it's already building, that's why we have to wait for this to build to finish. But as soon as it's done, it'll kick the pod again, and we'll see already our services port 8080 to 8080 there. We'll be able to click this link, and we'll be able to see the same thing we wanted to a moment ago. So let's see this come together. Don't get me wrong, we're going to do this on the command line too, but just prove to you this all comes together first. So there we go. So if I click on this guy, much longer URL, hello world of Cloud Foundry fun times.
Can we go look at the build log?
Absolutely. We'll go over to build.
So this is dependent on having a Docker file checked into the repo, right?
Yes. This pulls all from the Docker file.
Right. So it's really not super different. It's like we're going to take the code, we're going to combine that with a platform layer, we're going to install last mile dependencies.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of the pip install. I assume there's a pip install in here somewhere. Yep, there it is, right at the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere, I assume we have a run command at the end of the Docker file.
Right there. Oh, no, that's S2I run.
That's probably the build image. I think you'd have to like cat the Docker file. I don't think you'd see it here.
Yeah. There we go. It's this command right there. Python 3 app Python.
Although does that expose 5,000?
I guess it doesn't do anything because there's nothing there.
Well, I don't know what expose does in Docker files, I'll be honest.
It used to do stuff.
Did it used to do stuff? That's what I said. It used to do stuff, and now it doesn't. Okay, I'm glad we had this conversation.
But I really do want to mention though, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see it, realizing that it's very small. This line right here is actually really important to talk about for OpenShift specifically. So with OpenShift, a lot of Docker applications run as root and privileged by default, just because people honestly are lazy and they don't have to think about this stuff, or they don't want to think about this stuff. The least privilege, they just be like, just give it root and let me run the thing. OpenShift by default runs everything unprivileged and does not work as running as root. That is usually the largest stumbling block that when people are first coming into this world, not realizing when they containerize something and they haven't used the rigor to make sure that they use unprivileged or least privileged permissions, you run into problems very quickly and you want to throw your hands up and walk away. A nice little shortcut is to force Docker to run as user 1001 from the get-go. And if your app runs there, it'll run fine inside of OpenShift. So if you are going down this path, be sure to take a couple moments to try that out. Okay. So now that we have a build and everything's coming together how we want it to, let me show you the thing that actually convinced me why I wanted to start spending my time with OpenShift. And that's the CI/CD built inside of OpenShift specifically. If you notice, we had our own registry inside of it. So when we were building it on our builder, we pushed it into our own local registry to do it. And they make it very, very simple to create webhooks to be able to do this. I think I already have one here. I do. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one real quick. So we have no webhooks here. So the idea is I should be able to take this same GitHub secret all the way down here, copy this URL, create a new webhook here, paste this in here, and then change this to JSON, and then add this webhook. This should turn green. There we go.
It turned green.
Turn green.
Everybody cheer.
So now we've tell
chat.
So now whenever we make a change to our GitHub repo, we'll see the build kick off automatically here. This allows you as a developer to now, instead of doing CF push and push it up and deploy it all, you can actually, as soon as for the example I have here is merging into master, you could create a bunch of PRs, make a bunch of changes, and as soon as you hit merge to master, it kicks off the build for you on the back end. And then there's a lot more bells and whistles you can do to like do blue-green deployments, intelligent rollouts, things like that. But I'm not going to show you all that. I'm just going to show you the typical workflow here, where all of a sudden you don't have to think about pushing things out anymore. As a developer, you focus on your code, making it work how you want to, and then OpenShift does the heavy lifting for you. So let's take this one step farther. And again, like I said, I'm going to do this just through the bad stuff here, but whatever. Hello world, OpenShift is neat.
That's neat.
There you go. Git add commit, git commit. Jesus, come on, JJ. Commit -m. Kicking off in OpenShift. Hit push. So now, if we come over here, we go to our builds, or we go to our main picture here. And already, not even a couple seconds later, we're already building our second release. So when we see this complete, which if I was a developer and I was making a small iterative change, which that's what you should be doing, in the modern agile way, you should make small iterative changes. So if something breaks, you can roll back small bits instead of massive deployments where we just change a little bit of text. We pushed it off. I can now context switch onto another problem. And so that's overhead for me, and I trust that OpenShift pushes it out. Already, it completed, it rolled it out, and if we click on this link, we see, hello, OpenShift is neat. Yay! So that's really nice, right? So now now as a developer, I can focus on just writing the code, letting OpenShift do the heavy lifting for me. Obviously, there's more to it to do like load balancing and things like that. But for my experience as a developer, it is now obfuscated away from me so I can focus on giving the value add that I need.
Yeah, it's the PaaS. It's the platform. Yeah. It's the like make code, press button, receive. JJ, is there a way to get it? So one of the things CF does is it doesn't require that you get push before you CF push. Is there a way to get OpenShift to build without, if I am testing a change or iterating on a change, I don't necessarily want to throw that in master. But maybe I can get a branch in GitHub or something and have it deploying my branch to a namespace or something.
Yeah, so you can create a build config that points to a specific branch that gives you a staging environment or whatever. It's just another service, and that's the beauty of projects inside of OpenShift is you can have a like hello world dev environment that you only know about, that you can test stuff against your
my
stuff.
Secret development. Don't look at my filth.
Exactly. But that's really advantageous because then hopefully you're using some database as a service or something like that, where you could have your dev environment talking to a copy of the production database on another URL, right? That's like maybe it's mirroring or something. So you're not messing with the actual predation, or I guess copying would be better. You don't want to mirror. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is you could actually use the same environment and same workflow. And then as soon as something works how you want it to, then you use master-driven development or whatever and take that PR and put it again master. And then if somebody approves it or human approves it or whatever, hit merge. Now you have your playground that's talking to real information, and you actually see real things happening. If that makes sense. Did I lose you?
No.
Nope.
I'm with you.
But it's all literally right there.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I'm sure if we dug into the docs, there'd be a lot to probably a lot of little tunables if you want to control how that build works.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah.
So should we call it, or should we go for extra points?
I say I feel like I got another 30 minutes in me if you want. I'll let you drive though, because I have a feeling you have some.
You kind of got to drive. Are you on the IBM Cloud?
I am on the IBM Cloud.
Let's click into that.
Okay.
And why don't you search Code Engine up at the top and see what it says?
Code Engine. What is this? I probably should know this.
So this is a beta service. So nobody use it for anything production. But why don't we try to put our service into this code engine, which is Knative based. This is sort of the new app/serverless platform on the old IBM Clouder.
Okay. So it would be this guy, right?
Yeah, we have source. Yeah, we could just pull a Corey Quinn and like just click on things and see if it works.
Isn't that how you're supposed to use the internet? That's what I assumed.
Looking at some of the support tickets, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, just
I
hit
know
enter.
that guy.
Just hit enter, I believe. I know that guy, yeah. Just hit enter, just believe.
Nope, enter didn't work.
They lied to us. All right, if you go into the other account, I already have a project going.
All right.
So
this one?
smart. Yeah.
All right. I really should sit down and play with this, though.
This is IBM Code Engine. Somebody asked us about Google App Engine earlier. This is IBM Code Engine. And this does a little bit more than the App Engine will do. I think you can change it to something with my name in it if you're careful. The project. Oh, maybe we won't use Belinda's. Maybe make a new one.
All right. Create project. JJ Nibs.
Delete.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
I don't want to get an email about how you've backed this up.
Oh.
Maybe hop to a different. Oh, maybe we'll go back to the workshop account.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, great.
Or maybe we can fire over to something else. I mean, I don't know. I don't care what we do. This is a beta service, so it's not, it's not super available. Don't run your production in it, but
here we go.
Okay. So now we can make it, yeah. And we have source code. This is so bold, just like here. This is the more magic stuff that as a system administrator, I have a really hard time with. It's like,
Agreed.
I control everything and I want to read docs and I don't want you to guess anything about my application, even if it creates a better user experience for the developers.
So I click on strategy and nothing happens. I click on output and nothing happens.
There's a lot to unpack in that sentence. If you just press X, press X to doubt. What is happening? Yeah, go back to that. Was that specified build details?
Yeah, that was this thing. I was like, I should probably click this. Oh.
I mean, source seems fine. Branch name master, context directory root. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
So 1024. That seems big.
Well, I think Cloud Foundry just has these limits that are super tiny.
Oh, okay. Hopefully we don't need to
have any smart guesses about this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, this looks reasonable.
All right. Ship it. Press deploy. It won't let us press deploy. Do we have to do something?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
You probably have to specify build. Oh, yeah.
Oh, next. Oh, so you can't actually click them. You have to hit next to do it.
Or there's like a cloud native build pack thing. Let's stick with Dockerfile. We've got a Docker.
Yep.
Okay. What?
Do I need to push this into a registry?
I mean, it sounds like it's going to push it into a registry for you. Do you already have this app deployed to Quay? Maybe we could just go back and press Docker image instead of using their build pipeline.
I don't actually. I think so.
If you need me to, I can get it into Quay real fast. I got all that stuff set up.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
All right. Will you send me the link to the GitHub? Is it just on your GitHub somewhere? It's in Avocados, right?
No. That was something else. Here, I'll get you. Give me 2 seconds. Where'd you go? There you go.
Where did it go?
Nice, Slack.
Here we go. Building quick images. I could share my screen, huh?
There you go.
Huh? How's that looking? Yeah, it's fine.
Now, yep.
So now we do a docker build -t yeet or quay.io.
I'm surprised I haven't actually put this on Clay yet.
Well, that's fine. Also, by the way, I got some emails back from them that they have no plans. There are currently no limitations on the free tier on Quay, like limits or anything like that, and they have no plans to introduce any.
Oh, nice.
So that was nice to hear, because there was some FUD running around that Quay would stop doing it.
Yeah.
I think this the delay we're seeing on pushing is because of that TC command that I run on my computers at home for when I'm streaming. Because longtime viewers of the Twitch stream will know that when I'm streaming and pushing from my Docker will consume all of the bandwidth and my stream quality will go down. So I set up a traffic control rule so that it's like kept to a mild roller. It takes a couple minutes, but it's not just like I'm red for 30 seconds, which is nice. So now, because it's Quay, I have to go in there and mark it as public.
Python
test
JJ.
dash JJ. Make public. Okay, and then I'll stop sharing. How do I stop sharing?
It's down the bottom.
Okay. Then you can share again. Oh wow!
So,
I look at the like drug addiction going on, drug syndrome on my chest. I'm Iron Man.
oh wow, yeah, that's trippy.
Well, it's
That
because
is-
it's the green screen. Look, there's lag.
Yeah.
There's a ton of lag.
So that's the registry. But
No. Wait, can we just? Are you on container image? I think we want to go to container image. We want to go all the way back. See on the up on the left side there.
okay, my bad. Like that.
Yeah, and that seems. Did it take it?
It's not saying no. Let's deploy.
Deploy. One day for Christmas, JJ, I'm going to get you a giant USB button that just says deploy.
No
Maybe I'll
questions.
get you a
Deploy.
set of keycaps. You can have deploy, delete, destroy, wipe.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Reboot.
All right, we're still deploying.
Okay.
Things are happening.
I mean, that doesn't look bad. It says status ready.
Yeah. Hey, it worked.
Hey, we're using Knative.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Hey,
Now, supposedly, the hack with this is look the cheap trick demo with this is you grab that URL, you put it in a curl, like a curl while loop to like give it some load, and you should see Knative scale it up and down on the back end. So like if you run, yeah, exactly.
So sleep
0.2.
0.2. and then curl that. Done?
Yeah, sure. You don't have a do in there, but maybe in Z
Oh.
don't.
Yeah, I always forget that. God damn it. While true, do sweep.
Z had given you this like kind of interactive prompt to write it in. Is fancier than I. I don't have such nice things where I'm from. You don't have the curl.
Come on, Nibs. You know I fake everything I do. You know that.
Sure. I wasn't gonna tell anybody.
What?
Huh.
All right, one more time. While
Well, why don't you just run the curl on the command line? Maybe there's an error.
there we go. Just took a second.
Huh.
So while true, do sweep 0.2 curl done.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So we should be able to see.
Okay, there it is. Now it's looping. So I bet if you zip in there, maybe click into it, or traffic or something.
Total
look at
instances.
that. Total instances is it going to go up more?
We only told it originally one instance, so
And it can max to 10 or something. I mean, the fact that it made
Yeah.
2 is more than 1. That's twice as much traffic it can handle.
that's right.
If you go into applications, I think, and then click into that guy. I think you just click right there. What's in revisions and traffic?
Well, we only gave it. No, wait, that's not right.
Wait, click out of this for a second. Yeah, I think what they're saying is we could upload a version 2, and then we could do some traffic splitting probably from this UI.
Got it.
So we could go make an image that said traffic OpenShift is sort of neat. Knative is the best, and set that to be like 20% of the time. That's the one you'll get, which would be kind of a fun little demo.
Yeah.
But okay, we did it. We did it 3 times. We did it one more than we promised.
Yeah.
We used Knative, which was fun.
That's pretty slick, man. I gotta say, I was not expecting that to be so successful and so surprisingly easy.
But we did skip the build step.
Well, you know, that's what the build engineers are for, right? Hey.
Well, and it's also like I don't have credentials that I want to give this like web terminal for a private registry. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't.
At least
feel
not to type it into the console, like maybe a Terraform command
Yeah.
or something or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're going to sign off. Thanks everybody for watching the stream. We have a big stream coming up on Tuesday. Be sure to check in out. We'll have consistent content on the twitch.tv, the YouTube, Facebook.
Periscope.
We occasionally write blogs. I think we're going to try to get an intern to be on TikTok.
You
Thanks.
think we're kidding?
We're definitely kidding. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're out.